there, this is Merel for Blue Label's boutique Fearless Woman blog. I'm so happy to share my story here with you. I read the inquiry for, a story about a woman who's fearless, and although of course I still have some fears and anxiety here and there and now and then, I did make some, very life-changing decisions that would go against all odds, and with which I really had to face my own fears. I grew up in the Netherlands, like super safe, three brothers, lovely parents, all fine. And I thought I wanted to be either a doctor or a lawyer, help people. Um, have, I guess, like a pretty safe life. A few children for sure will be running around, a nice husband, like picture perfect. So I went on to study medicine. I decided to do that. I had good grades. I was like the perfect, uh, you know, girl next door. Never would do anything wrong or strange or out of order or unexpected. Went through high school. I wasn't like I was okay, but not like super happy from inside, not very secure about myself or um, I was pretty introverted, a little shy, I guess, with people that I didn't know. But okay, anyway, I went on studying medicine, and actually, pretty soon, I started to find out, like, oh my God, I don't want this kind of life. I don't want this, life which is set out in front of me, knowing what I'm gonna do next year and next day and next hour. And also, I found out that medicine was really like a world where you always had to prove yourself. You always had to, work hard in order to get to the next position, to be accepted by that kind of doctor or in that educational position. Um, so, although I thought it was very interesting to learn about the body and how to heal yourself, I was not happy with, that thinking of that kind of life. And then also along the side, there were many doubts for me, like I wasn't quite sure about if this this way of healing, if that was really like the right way. Still, I of course I discussed these fears with my parents, my friends, or my doubts, let's say, and they all are like, "No, you worked so hard, you studied so hard to get into medical school. Just keep on going. Once you're in your internships, or maybe sometime you go work in Africa, and you'll be all fine. You'll find your purpose there." And I was a bit persuaded by them, plus my own actually fears of leaving this feeling of security also behind. I continued um, continued for another 5 years into my studies. I needed one more year to finish. Then it was like really I couldn't do anymore. I did go to Africa. I did my internship there, and same, it didn't fulfill me. I didn't feel like it was my place to really, yeah, to really shine, like to really show what I not even show, but to make myself as purposeful as possible. So, yes, then I did decide to take a year off. I did some other things, a little traveling, a little working, did some other studies here and there, some short courses, and then I was about to start my next internship for my last year, and I was there in the college room, preparing to go to this hospital, and I was overwhelmed with a feeling of no, this is not for me. So there and then I decided, without telling anyone, without asking anyone for advice, I just decided I'm not gonna do this. So I didn't tell my dad, I didn't tell my mom, my boyfriend at the time, of course he knew, and some friends. But that was very empowering actually, just like honestly making the decision from me. It was my decision. And I already then arranged that I could get into another master studies for a year. I registered myself. I went to the first colleges or lectures, and then I called my mom. I called my dad. It's like, hey guys, listen, I quit my studies, and but I already enrolled into this master studies. And whereas before they really tried to, make me stay in college, they were like, no, okay, sure, as long as you're happy, that's most important. So that was very beautiful. I was after making that decision, I felt sick for one day, like so sick, because I think just all this anxiety, like that build up, just bursted out. Um, but as soon as I started these other studies, I very soon realized that, life is so abundant. It gives you so many opportunities, and it will take care of you. And also, if you, for yourself, keep all the doors open, and there's room, there's opportunity to meet other people, to take on new adventures. Yeah, so it was beautiful in the studies. Was international public health studies. I studied with actually also other doctors, that medical students that had quit their studies, and of course also people from other directions. But it was very like a warm, welcome feeling, and I really felt good, and I knew that it was the right decision I took. And still today, I mean, this was more than 6 years ago now. Still today, like even if I have to take a radical decision to change, and I feel a little bit of fear, then I think back of that moment and how, yeah, just like it actually kind of opened up the door of not being afraid of going into another direction. And you can of course always come back, I mean, there's nothing lost. Even today, if I would still want to become a medical doctor, I can always go back. There's always that opportunity. um, but it gave me a lot of strength and trust also in myself. Yeah. So I did this 1 year master's degree, which was awesome. I learned about how to set up a healthcare system from a policy perspective, and how you can make healthcare services available to everyone, especially in developing countries where there's not like a tax pooling system, and many people that cannot pay from their pocket, they just don't have access to healthcare services, or to government healthcare services, which are very poor quality or low quality. So I started working for this international organization, which was based in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. A beautiful organization doing consultancy work, advising work, and I would travel with my colleagues to West Africa, and I would advise organizations there, ministries of health, governmental organization, on how they could change their healthcare systems. So I would sit around the table, with ministries of health or policy officers. I thought I got this job. I thought it was my dream job. I honestly thought it was. I could do everything. I could travel. I could still be in Amsterdam. I love this city. I got a good pay. It was, subject-wise, it was interesting. It was what I was interested in. But again, I very, very, very soon, actually, even the first day walking into that office, I was like, oh my God, if I have to, continue doing this, knowing, well, that I'll be sitting behind this desk tomorrow also, it just frightened me. Um, Obviously, I continued that job for another 2 years, and I had very many beautiful moments. I learned a lot, but also I was unhappy, very unhappy. I was tired. I worked very, very long days. And I also felt that I couldn't really help, I was maybe changing a system, but with the next president coming up, it would change around again. And so I decided at some point, where I was, doubting, like, what should I do? I mean, this is my dream job. If this is not what it is, what then? And everyone else around me was like, my God, your job is just the best. It's great. At that time, I already started practicing yoga, and these were really the only moments in the week that I felt truly happy and fine. And there was nothing to gain there, nothing to do. I felt deep relaxation. At the same time, it did a lot to my physical body. I was feeling much stronger, even very much more confident, and not even only about my body, but yeah, generally like the things that I would want to do, where I would want to go, and also again, more and more trusting myself. And so I started with one yoga class a week, then two, then three, then four. And of course, soon I realized that this yoga practice is much more than just doing these poses on the mat. The effect goes much deeper, and it's really a broad philosophy that can help you with making transformations in your life. Um, it helps you looking honestly at yourself, and also get a better understanding of what you feel. And sometimes our mind tricks us, so it really helps you with, like, okay, is this my mind speaking from society, peer pressure point of view, or is it actually really my mind saying, no, you have to go this because that's what is really good for you, that's really what you're supposed to do. So while I was having this job, I did a yoga teacher training, and I wow, this was so beautiful, going deeper for myself, really knowing where I wanted to go, and then being able to share this with other people. So I started teaching, and I had already been in India for a few times. So I quit my job, I went to India, started teaching there, and slowly I started to spend more time in India. And I also found an opportunity to work in India with an Indian yoga teacher, which was a really great experience. I learned a lot, and yeah, then I decided to really move to India and actually open up my own yoga school. So since 2.5 years, I've been like really living in India now and teaching people here. So they're both travelers, sometimes people from India, um, mostly mostly people from Western countries, and they come to me to study for 1 or 2 months, sometimes to just practice for themselves, more often also to take a yoga teacher training. Um, and it's been really great. I mean, you can see the view here. I'm here in the mountains in Dharamsala, North India. This is home to the Dalai Lama. So a lot of Tibetan Buddhist monks and nuns here, or people that come here to study, and it just creates this amazing, beautiful environment to live. It's not Obviously it's not always easy. Unfortunately, there's quite some, not amongst older people, but there is some jealousy here. So just a few months ago, someone had sent the police to my school to come and check on me. I mean, this is pretty scary, sitting there, two big Indian policemen sitting in front of me asking, "Where's your passport? Where's your visa?" Um, you know, I was afraid, like, what's going to happen? Are they going to throw me out of the country? Or what's going to happen to my students, first and foremost? But then again, also, there's many people here that are so loving and caring, and I had some people helping me in that situation, to communicate, and everything was fine. Um, but this is, something I also learn a lot with being here alone in India in a society which is, pretty male driven. Women, they are powerful, but, not outside, not outgoing. So here I am as a Western woman, teaching yoga, having my own school. Of course, I miss the support of my family and friends and their friendship. But at the same time, there's many beautiful people here from which I learn from so much. Like every day here, honestly, is somebody tells me something, and it touches me deeply inside and makes me think of where I want to go, reflect upon myself. And that is very special about living in India. There is this atmosphere. Whereas when I'm in the Netherlands, which I love the country, honestly, uh, but there's just a different vibe to it. People are busy with different things. It's more about materialistic gaining back home. Whereas here, I right away I feel so easy. I don't need anything. I live very simply. I can show you my room. Like, I live in a guest house, so this is the guest house, 3 rooms, and here is my room. I didn't clean up, so just this is really how I live. I have two mattresses. One serves as kind of like a cupboard. On the other side, I sleep. Uh, I have a little kitchen. There in the corner is the bathroom. Some books, more books. I love reading. I'm actually at the moment writing a book on um, physiology of the body and how yoga benefits. Since I studied medicine, it's super interesting to combine these two. So I'm reading or writing that. So that's why you see uh, medical textbooks, books written by the Dalai Lama, and it all comes here together. Um, so just a little bit more of the view, which is amazing mountains. And then of course also there's local people here. So you can see the farmer in the background, the ladies of the village. Yeah, so all in all, I took some radical decisions, or radical, just like, decisions that no one really approved of. Thinking of them first, consulting, asking for advice first. But I just felt so strongly that I had to do that. And for sure, my parents, my brothers, they weren't always very happy with my decisions. But in the end, they see how happy I am, how content I am, what I'm doing with my life, how much I'm sharing. And also when I'm back, how much I can give back to them. And they're really happy for me. And they really say, yeah, you've taken the right decisions. And this is what I want to give you like as a message. So please really trust upon yourself. You're much more wise than you think you are. And sure, you can here and there ask for some ideas, advice. But in the end, really go with your own intuition. And don't be afraid. Or even if you are a little bit afraid, that's absolutely normal, but don't let it overrule you. Take it step by step, take the decision, make a change, and then just feel how that is, and then accordingly you change your course. I think life is not one directional. It has curves, and you can go a bit back and forth and up and down, but that's what life is. I think it's important to keep on moving, not stagnate. Don't stay still. So I'm calling on all of you, listening to me, watching this, and I hope you're inspired by my story. I would be very, I would, like to hear your response or your feeling after listening to this story, and be inspired by your fearless changes and decisions that you've made. All right, so much love from India, love from the mountains, and I hope to connect with you in one way or the other. Bye.